What is your space like now in this time of pandemic?
If a year ago someone asked me what space is, I would definitely imagine myself in a social space surrounded by the people I love the most. And I was distracted by the environment, people, and I often forgot to think about me. So it caught me off guard when I suddenly found myself with no people around me, without any social events in sight, just me, myself, and my own thoughts. I must conclude that it took some time to get used to this change, but soon I realized that I was given a chance to focus on myself and really change and improve something. I stopped and I dove into my personality, which was always too preoccupied with worrying about what people's perception of me was. I embraced my loneliness and I chose to shift my focus on my self-improvement. And thanks to this opportunity, I realized who and what is worthy of my time. I learned that the most important thing everyone has is eventually themselves. And in conclusion, now I view space as an opportunity to do, change, or improve something. Because after all, one of our main life missions is to keep working towards our best selves. Therefore, using the space we've been enriched with wisely.
At first, I personally was pretty sad about the whole quarantine thing. Of course, I knew it was the right thing to do, but just the sudden change of staying at home all the time and not being able to see my friends felt to me pretty lonely. I think it's a pretty important thing to see things from a different perspective, and even though this is happening and the world may seem like a little different and maybe a little crazy, we need to remember that change could, again, from a different perspective, be a pretty good thing. I, for example, started to think about myself. I started reading a lot more, which was actually a really good thing, and it really helped me a lot with relaxing, being able to wind down, and it also helped with my eyesight since I don't stare at a screen all day. I didn't have much time to read before, and even though quarantine may seem very lonely for me, I have realized that it's always a good approach to make the best of the situation you're given, and putting things into perspective and seeing how the situation is evaluating not only from the bad point of view is a really important thing to make me feel sane and safe.
To me, space is the key to productivity when we're all stuck inside our homes. In my opinion, dividing the space you live in is really important. For example, when I sit at my desk, that's the space where I'm productive, where I study, where I do my homework or write. My bed is a place where I read or watch movies, and the kitchen is where I sit and talk with my mom or sister. The bathroom is a place where I can take a moment to think and meditate, and the living room is where I watch movies with my family. The question, what does space mean for you, has honestly really changed in the past year. Before, I think I wouldn't say that the first thing that comes to mind is my room or my apartment. But now, all the things I do outside my apartment happen here. My room is where I FaceTime or text my friends. My computer substitutes a shopping mall as I order things online. Yes, the meaning of space has changed, but it isn't only for the worse, even though no amount of inventions or technologies can truly substitute for actual social contact. That's why I believe that, especially now, we have to be adaptable, but also be aware that our personal space shouldn't turn into isolation.
There's a difference between space as a whole and something called your personal space, which is the space inside of you. Even though we've all been deprived of space as a whole, personal space, on the other hand, is something that increased, improved, and grew remarkably during the past year. In my case, being trapped inside what seemed as a little room and having my space seemingly diminished resulted in my personal space being enlarged. I started meditating, and that made the space in my mind so much bigger. Contemplation became something that I did not know I needed, but it moved the borders of my brain really far. I started doing yoga, and that made the space in my body feel like there's so much more of it. Finally, I even made the space in my heart so much bigger when I found out that I had to remove certain people out of it to do so. By contemplation, I became a bigger person in even a ginormous space.
The way my space changed, my lifestyle changed with it dramatically. The way I started to look at things differently, the way my days became a lot more productive. The way I started to focus mostly on myself. Nowadays, it's just me and my space. Me in my little bubble trying to make myself each day a little better, happier. At the beginning, I spent days laying in bed, doing nothing. Suddenly, thoughts of this type began to emerge. Where is this all really going? When will this end with, and what am I really doing with my life? I had literally no idea. I set some goals and I started to work on myself, both mentally and physically. Going on a run in nature was the type of space for my thoughts I needed. Nature became my place to refresh my mind. I was such a picky eater. Suddenly, my taste buds changed. This was really a big improvement. Now I'm able to eat anything, and I can eat a lot healthier, try new great things. All this brought with it a certain effort to value oneself more. Now I make a lot of time for myself. I mean, what else should I make time for if not for myself? My life really made it to another level. This is the enhancement I needed.